Hello and welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Nikki and I make these videos. In today's video, we're taking a quick look and chatting about week 2 of both of the challenges, hashtag Cozy Christmas Challenge 2021 and hashtag Winter Wonders Mood Board. And we are going to be taking a quick look at my recent edition of feature studies to hopefully improve my portrait art. So with all that being said, don't forget to leave a like on this video, subscribe, and ring that bell icon so you never miss a beat. Help me reach my 1K goal before the new year. Sub now. Sub now. Sub now. Sub now. Okay, sub now. Moving on. Okay, our cozy challenge. So for the cozy challenge, our prompt was warm and cozy. As you can see, I am putting a person into the art as per usual. Okay, so of course I wanted to build a scenery. Went right in with my usual tactics. I used the 6B brush that comes on Procreate, and I of course had it kind of streamlined. I always work with a slightly streamlined brush. I have a jittery hand, and that works for me. I know there's some artists that say don't work with streamline because then when you go to work on paper, there's no streamline and then you can't draw. But I do find once I start practicing on paper that my hand, just kind of knows what to do. It's a different experience for me, honestly, to draw on paper and versus drawing on a slick screen or even with a matte screen, which we are going to talk about. I do have a story time coming up about the screens on tablets. So I encourage you guys seriously to be subscribed because I have some story times coming up and I have some more content coming up, more portrait art coming up. I really do think you guys are going to like my upcoming content. I'm trying to really start building it out for you guys. So if there's something specific you'd like to see, let me know down in the comments below. So anyways, what was I saying? I just lost my train of thought so hard. Oh, so I was talking about 6B pencils and stuff. Maybe I just lost my train of thought. But anyways, I used the streamline brush or pencil brush. From there, I went in and of course I'm always using pretty much the same paint brushes and same pencil brushes all the time. I like to sketch with the 6B pencil now. Before I used to like to use like the Neriander pencil or the HB, I don't remember what it was, one of the HB pencils, but I ended up finding that I really enjoyed drawing with that 6B. Sometimes I will draw with something else that has a little more solid line. That way I can fill it in a little easier if I'm just doing a very simple color drop. This piece, I was going to be working with my more, what I'm calling an illustrative style. It's something that I'm noticing is coming out as I've been working on doing these backgrounds. Speaking of backgrounds, I'm going to skip over to that flame, and there you can see there's these weird sketchy circles on my screen. That is where I was trying to draw out a reference point of where that flame was coming off, and that is just trying to give me an idea. That way when I'm working on filling in these big sections, I can kind of see where the light is going to be hitting, just to give myself an idea. That way I don't have to go back and do a lot of adjustment later on. It was also going to be for me trying to play with some different layer. I don't know if techniques is the right word to say, but different layer options. So yeah, I wanted to mention that because you'll see I do that in quite a few of my sketches. So if you ever just see that really weird sketchy line that doesn't seem to make sense, it's likely a line for my lighting. Sometimes I'll mark it and sometimes I won't. Anyways, I tried to keep the colors and how many I was using pretty simple. I did a lot of just shifting the saturation of the color, just lighter or darker, and using that for my shadow and light. I didn't use anything too crazy. I did use texture brushes that came in Procreate, or brushes that I've collected over time. Something that I recommend. I've even told my best friend, who is also a YouTube artist. Her channel is Natsumi Flower, in case you're interested. She does manga art. Anyways, you can usually go onto YouTube and search different, Procreate brushes, like search for Procreate brushes. And a lot of artists will have free brushes through their newsletters. And that's how I collect a lot of mine. I watch different artists to learn from. And when they have an option to collect a brush pack or a palette, like a color palette, I go and I collect it, because it is something that maybe one day I will find useful, and I will be able to use it on, say, something like this, a style that I didn't think I would ever develop. And now here I am, and this is something that I'm actually enjoying. I really honestly am very thankful for all of the people involved in these challenges for the month of December, because I am learning so much. So here you can see that I am giving some texture to the brick patterns. I'm adding texture to the hair. I'm doing basically everything that I would do on every other picture. I'm using basically any brush that I have to my disposal. Again, everything is basically free. I think I've only ever paid for one brush pack since I've had this program, and that's been 2 years at least. And soon you're going to see me working with the layer modes, and the one that I'm primarily working with is the overlay. And the reason why I'm working with overlay is because I'm trying to figure out how to give the luminance to the picture, while also being able to, you can see this luminance right now. So I'm trying to add the shadow behind and then give the warmth of the fireplace. And I think I was able to accomplish that. You guys will have to let me know what you think of week 2, warm and cozy, of the hashtag Cozy Christmas Challenge 2021. So next up, we had the winter challenge, with the prompt being snowy days. And we had this beautiful mood board, which inspired me to think of, snow angels. And one of the things that I see a lot is my dog, Samson, loves to roll around in the snow like a crazy loon. And so I thought this would be the perfect time to make a snow angel picture. So I decided that's what I was going to do. I had this beautiful palette to work off of, or mood board, I should say. And I was like, here I go. And I never used that mood board again, other than to inspire the snow angel. And it was done. So this is the last time that you will see the mood board, because that was the last time I really used it. I went off on my own little tangent, like I often do. I was doing my own thing. I don't know what to say. I know. Shun. Does anybody else, when you say shun, go, shun the non-believer? Yeah. Anyways, you can see that I created a Samson in the snow, and my biggest issue is probably trying to create the snow look. I wasn't sure how I was going to do that. Like, snow falling isn't obvious. There's different brushes to create that look. There's different techniques to create that look. There's like hand stippling looks, things you can do to create that look. I mean, you can go from very little work to extreme dedication kind of work to make snow. But to actually have it like where you're looking down on it, I was like, I'm not sure how I'm ever going to achieve that look. So I really wasn't sure what I was going to do. I did spend quite a bit of time doing a lot of like refining work on giving her details that probably weren't necessary for the size of picture that it was. But I gave her some eye makeup. I added shadowing to things like the hat, and you can see I gave a little bit of color variation to the scarf and the little snowshoe boot things. I just kind of went and gave little details and used one of my favorite blender brushes, which is the charcoal blender brush by, I can't look it up. I will put it on the screen, just in case if you're interested. It's just one of my favorites. I actually use pretty much all of my blending brushes that I use on the regular currently come from the same pack. So I will put that on the screen as well in case you're interested in that. I did have somebody say recently that maybe you guys would be interested in like a tips video. I don't know if I know enough information to give you guys a tips video. Would that be something you're interested in? Is there something specifically that you guys are looking for or would like to see? If so, leave it in the comments down below. I have my tablet. I have access to Procreate, and that's the only program I work in. So that's the only program I work in. So don't ask any silly questions, because that's what I know. And I still don't know everything. I'm learning new things about it all the time. Art is something that you are constantly learning. Yeah. Okay, so here I decided to add the snow coming down as well, because I thought it just made it look a little more snowy and playful. Because I mean, doesn't it just look more? It just looks more fun. Oh, and I gave the dog a butthole, the little crisscross butthole, and I thought that was the funniest thing. I giggled when I did it. I giggled. I had to go, how old are you again? Like, I had to remind myself, like, yeah. So that's it. Now we're gonna just do a quick little brief jump to my feature studies. What is the purpose of this? These are my feature studies. I'm using these to improve as an artist, but specifically I'm using them to improve my portrait art. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I have basically taken on the niche of being a portrait artist. I enjoyed painting people. I would love to be able to paint characters better. I'd love to be able to paint backgrounds better. But specifically, I find myself really leaning towards painting people, and practicing drawing different features is kind of key in that. I went with, sorry. I'm going to say it again. Oh gosh. I went with eyes because they're super important to tell the picture of the person. If you get the eyes wrong, you get the person wrong. That is my personal belief. I honestly believe that if you get that wrong, it's just all downhill from there. People recognize people by the eyes. There's something to be said that by most people will say, like, oh, what's the first thing you noticed about, your significant other? And they're like, I noticed their blue eyes. I noticed their, that's the thing that they noticed. So that was kind of why I went with that. It's also one of my most hated features besides hands. I mean, hands. We all hate drawing them. Okay, maybe not all, but most of us. But eyes, getting them symmetrical, or at least getting them to look like the person, I keep saying the person's eyes, but to look like they belong on the same person is quite difficult. Getting the alignment right is difficult. And I'm not talking about copy pasting. You can see here through my studies that I am drawing the eyes. Sometimes I might copy paste something like the iris or whatever. I don't know the parts of the eyes. I don't know. I'm trying to pretend that I do. But I'll copy paste certain features of it to make sure I'm getting the right size, because I know that certain parts are going to be pretty much the same. But in general, eyes are not really the same size and shape. And if you do make them the same size, it usually kind of throws off your picture because that's not what normal people eyes look like. There's usually something just a little bit different. It's just something I've noticed, my personal opinion. I'm still an amateur artist and I always will be. Anyways, the other thing I want to mention before I lose it is is the eyelashes. Check out the eyelashes on these pictures. Oh my gosh, I am so excited. I'm going to give myself some hands again. That's such a terrible joke. The eyelashes. Oh my gosh. I finally figured out, I sort of figured out, it comes and goes. Eyelashes. Look how pretty those are. Oh, they're gorgeous. I fell in love with them. Like, what's the first thing you notice? His eyelashes. They're just beautiful. They don't look painted on for the first time ever, which is amazing. I've been trying to accomplish that all year long, and I don't know what happened, but for some reason it just clicked with this brush that I was using and this project. So yeah, that was my yay for that exercise. The eyes went well, the eyelashes went well. I was pleased. What do you guys think? Did I do pretty well? Okay, so the next thing I did was ears, and honestly, ears were easier than expected. Now, there are some that look like they're upside down and stuff, and I kid you not, they're not. That is what they looked like. That's just how some people's ears are. A lot of these were very similar, and the only reason that I did ears was just because you don't draw ears very often. Well, at least I don't. For the portraits that I've found so far, most have been very face forward or ears covered by hair. I thought I should probably practice, and it was a good quick study, something that I could get out on my Instagram, which if you haven't checked it out yet is at Nikkita Pullen, just like it is here on YouTube. So go follow me over there. I'd love to have you. You can see more of my art. Hint, hint. Like those portraits I keep mentioning. Also, if you're wondering where I got my references from, they all come from Pinterest. That is where I get everything from. I may be drawing more references more often, so that may be a little hint towards an upcoming content idea. So I'm just telling you now in case you wanted to like this video and subscribe. Anyways, this one I decided, I'm just going to kind of loosely paint things. I wasn't going to take anything too serious. I blended some, I didn't blend others. I didn't paint too many. I made a fun little tag thing there with the ears, I drew a hairy ear because that was on the reference page that I had pulled up that had all of these ears on it. So yeah, I drew a hairy ear that will forever be immortalized on my Instagram as long as there is an Instagram. So yeah, that's my life. So yeah, that's how things have been going. I want to say that I am still uploading every Wednesday. I will have a video out again next Wednesday. I am also posting every day over on my Instagram, posting, things like this, things like my challenge pictures, portrait art, unfinished sketchbook pages, pretty much all things art. So I encourage you to follow me over there. Again, it's the same as my name is here. And yeah, there it is on the screen for you guys. I want to thank you so much for watching. Just thank you guys so much for everything. It's been wonderful. I will see you next week for week 3. See you guys next time. Bye.